Chardonhaaay, true crime fans, welcome back to another episode of Chardonhaaay, True Crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And sorry we're coming at you a little bit late this evening. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties here, but we are on now. We are here, and we are ready to talk about tonight's episode, which is part 1 of our O.J. Simpson episodes.
Oh,
this
boy.
This is a long time coming. This is one that I've wanted to do for a while. I'm sure, Kate, you even remember me suggesting in the group chat, just, hey, we need to do O.J. Simpson, and people just being like, that makes me too sad. And I was just like, okay, but like all of this should make you sad. Like,
yeah, right. It's like
just,
not like we're.
I understand.
It's not like we're talking about like legends and myths, except for Cryptid Week. Like we're talking about actual people's lives and shit like that. Like this is all stuff where like actual human beings were affected. Shouldn't that all make you kind of sad?
I mean, you would think / hope / anticipate, because it's kind of sad.
It's like, I mean, we don't
there's a lot that we talk about that makes me sad too.
It's like, we don't want anybody to be sad. Like,
no,
it's not like, but like, you would expect topics of this nature to make people sad. So expect would be, I think, more the right word, you
would also anticipate people being kind of sad talking about this kind of stuff. It's a lot to talk about. And if you're the type of person that's just sort of like, meh, like, you're interested in reading about the serial killers, but you're not like sympathetic towards the victims, then I would say get out of true crime, because these people wouldn't be where they were without their victims. These people wouldn't be the people that you're listening to without their victims. So
ow,
maybe like concentrate on your empathy a little bit, because it might need a little bit of work.
Yeah, if you're like just fascinated with the serial killers, like if you only want to talk about like who they were, and like, yes, that's what we do, but we also talk about like the effect and like the aftermath and like how this stuff makes us feel. Like, we don't just talk about them because we're interested in them as people and what their upbringing was.
No. We try to bring a more human side to some of these people, yes, but we also try to point out the fact that, like, hey, yes, these are humans, but they are humans who are killing other humans. And, just because they have a shitty upbringing doesn't give them the right. Nice motive, still murder.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. We get a lot of those here.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, they're so quick to just be like, he was a monster. But like, people aren't born monsters. I'm just saying. But at the same time, you shouldn't be like, oh my God, he was so misunderstood. He did nothing wrong. Like, there's an in between. And I feel like we try to find that more often than not.
Yeah, it's like, I couldn't even count how many times we've been like, oh, it was wrong, but I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. That's my feelings on the whole situation.
Just have more empathy.
But not too much more empathy. Like, have more empathy for the victims, but not the killers. I feel like the killers get enough empathy.
Yeah, like
you go on Tumblr and you find those yeah. So like you go on Tumblr and you find those like true crime girls that are just like, oh my God, like Dylan Roof is so misunderstood. No, he's not. Ted Bundy was so hot. Yeah, and he still murdered a bunch of people.
Just, he wasn't hotter for murdering people. Just,
he wasn't even that hot. Like, honestly, hang on a second. I need to just really fast because, you know, they had Zac Efron play him in that movie, you know?
And that was doing him a favor.
That was really doing him a favor. But I just wanna really quick just pull up a picture of Ted Bundy real fast because, like, listen, I don't know what gets you off, but this guy right here, that guy, really? I don't listen, not to kink shame or anything, but really? That guy? Look at his fucking suspenders.
Oh my god.
Why?
It's a look.
Why?
It's a look. Because he didn't want. He
it
didn't
is
have
not
a belt.
good look. No. He had suspenders. And like,
oh god,
that face was on his head. I'm just saying. Yeah, exactly. That is literally his face. His face is just... It is.
And
Am I wrong?
Like, damn, bitch, do your brows once in a while.
Oh my god, right? Like, I know it was like the 70s, obviously, by that picture, but still, like, oh, bro. Just fuck, bro. Like, erasers were definitely invented by then, like, you know, which is like what people have been saying to me on TikTok all day, but who cares?
Fuck the people on TikTok.
Razors are invented. Yeah, and so is shutting the fuck up.
Bruh, yeah, razors are invented, but they cost money, but shutting the fuck up costs $0.
Dude, I did a live stream on TikTok earlier, and like, I had 9-year-olds in my live stream, and I was just like, who let you have a phone? Why? Why? They're like, I shit you not. There was a point where they were like, do you say bad words? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, do you say the F word? And I was just like, yes. They're like, I'm 9. And I was like, what? No, I have never said a bad word in my life, small child. No. I am completely innocent of that sin. It is a sin.
People tell me all the time how I'm too, like, 9 years old, and I just have to say, I'm 11, so shut the fuck up.
Literally, a fucking 10-year-old asked me, like, one of the, like, weird, so like, I'm used to like answering questions and stuff on TikTok, right? Like, I'll answer whatever fucking question, unless it's rude, then I'll just block you. A fucking 10-year-old, this kid, Roy or something like that, Roy or Ray or some shit, I don't know. Anyways, this fucking 10-year-old goes, are you afraid of death? And I was just like, kiddo, are you okay?
Honey?
Just, sweetie, child, darling, are you okay?
Honey, please.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid of death?
Kids, can you lighten up back there?
Yeah, right? Seriously. Just, no, I don't know. I have a lot of existential dread about, you know, what happens next, but I'm not afraid of the act of dying because you just kind of die. As we know, as true crime writers.
Yeah, we need to get out of this tunnel right now or I'm going to start freaking out.
Yeah, exactly. Let's change the topic from talking about death to talking about murder.
Yeah, there we go.
So the Nicole Brown Simpson case is one of the most well-known, most speculated upon, believed miscarriages of justice the world knows and talks about to this day. It is highly regarded as a complete miscarriage of justice and something that true crime aficionados and regular people alike can agree was handled horribly. Horribly. And usually when we talk about these stories, we talk about the early life of the killer, but tonight I want to start by talking about the early life of the victim, Nicole Brown Simpson. She was born on May 19th, 1959 in Frankfurt, West Germany to Juditha Ann, also known as Judy Brown, and Louis Hezekiel Lou Brown. So his name's Louis Hezekiel. It's not Ezekiel, it's Hezekiel. Yeah.
Who's Ezekiel? Hezekiel.
Yeah. Now, her mother was German and her father was American. And after moving to the U.S., she attended Rancho Alamitos High School in Garden Grove, California, and then later Dana Hills High School in Dana Point, California, where she graduated in 1977. Now, Nicole met O.J. Simpson in 1977 when she was 18 years old and working as a waitress at the Beverly Hills private club called The Daisy. Now, although Simpson was married to his first wife, Marguerite, the two began dating. Simpson and Marguerite divorced in March 1979, and Simpson and Brown were married on February 2nd, 1985, 5 years after his retirement from professional football. Their marriage lasted...
I forgot that he was somebody before he was a murderer.
Oh, yeah, no, he was very, very well known. We'll get into that when we talk about his life, which is going to be a little bit later. First, we're going to talk about the victims, because it's not just Nicole who was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. But their marriage lasted 7 years, during which time they had 2 children, Sydney, who was born in 1985, and Justin, who was born in 1988. Now, OJ actually had a couple of kids already, if I'm remembering correctly, and she was the stepmother to his children. But we're not here to talk about them right now. We'll actually be bringing up OJ's kids in the next episode a little bit more.
Okay.
But Simpson was investigated multiple times by police for domestic violence and pled no contest to spousal abuse in 1989, to which Brown filed for divorce in February of 1992, citing irreconcilable differences. I'm pretty sure I would call it irreconcilable differences too if my husband was just like beating me every chance he got. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just he's violent with no indication or intention of changing, and that's I gotta say that's where I draw the line. I just you have to draw the line in the sand somewhere.
At this point, it's like we have a difference of beliefs. He believes that he should be able to beat me up, and I don't like that. I don't think so. Difference of beliefs.
Every fucking person in the universe. Well, what did you do to make him angry? Why don't you just give him another chance?
Exactly. Fuck off.
Yeah, like no more chances. You saw that thing I posted on Facebook earlier today, right?
Yeah, I saw it. Mm-hmm. But anyways, following their divorce, Simpson and Brown actually got back together. An audio released during the murder trial of O.J. Simpson revealed that Brown called 911 on October 25th, 1993, crying and saying that he, Simpson, is going to beat the shit out of me. When the police arrived, Brown was secretly recorded by Sergeant Craig Lally. He gets a very animalistic look in him, Brown stated. All his veins pop out. His eyes are black and just black. I mean, cold, like an animal. I mean, very, very weird. And when I see it, it just scares me. Also stated that Simpson hadn't hit her in 4 years. So like a big thing that I like to point out here is that the police, instead of arresting him like they would with literally any other person, They just like took him aside and were just like, hey, you just need to like calm down, bro. I'm not joking.
Ugh.
He literally is like trying to kick in her back door during this whole situation. Like, and he's a big dude. He's a fucking football player. Like, he is a large man. And he is trying to kick in her fucking door. And the police are just like, hey, like, come over here, Juice. Like, take it down a little, you know, just like bring it down a notch.
That is like, God, that is so fucking backwards. Like, that's the kind of thing that would happen in the 50s if a husband beat his wife a little too hard.
Yep.
That's insane.
So I have part of the phone call here. So I'm just gonna pull that up real quick so that we can listen to this, because I think that this is important to, you know, listen to, in my opinion. But this is on YouTube. So I was able to find it on YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube these days, I swear to God. Oh, whoops. Hang on a second. I forgot to share the audio. Might need to do that. The whole point is hearing the audio.
I mean,
but let's do this and let us play this audio right now.
911 emergency.
Can you get someone over here now to 325 Gretna Green? He's back. Please.
Okay, what does he look like?
He's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here?
Okay, what is he doing there?
He just drove up again.
He just drove up.
Over.
Okay, wait a minute. What kind of car is he in?
He's in a white Bronco, but first of all, he broke the back door down to get in.
Okay, wait a minute. What's your name?
Nicole Simpson.
Okay, is he the sportscaster or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Wait a minute. We're sending the police. What is he doing? Is he threatening you?
I'm going nuts.
Okay, has he threatened you in any way, or is he just harassing you?
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to come in again.
Okay, just stay on the line.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit out of me.
Wait a minute. Wait, just stay on the line so we can know what's going on till the police get there, okay? Okay, Nicole?
Uh-huh.
Just a moment. Does he have any weapons?
I don't know.
Okay.
He went home. Now he's back. My kids are upstairs sleeping, and I don't want anything to happen.
Okay. Has he hit you today or no?
No.
Okay. You don't need any paramedics or anything? Okay. You just want him to leave?
My door. He broke the whole back door in.
And then he left and he came back?
Then he came and he practically knocked my upstairs door down, but he pounded it, and then he screamed and hollered, and I tried to get him out of the bedroom because the kids were sleeping in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he wanted somebody's phone number, and I gave him my phone book and clicked my phone book down to write down the phone number that he wanted, and then he took my phone book with all my stuff in it.
The dispatch.
What?
But
What does he say?
that was edited weird.
Unit your domestic violence at 30 Correction 325 South Gretna Greenway is too high. The suspect is now entered in the jail. And it is refusing to leave. Go too high. It's been 422-13825 children involved. Just stay on the line, okay? Is he upset with something that you did?
Oh, a long time ago, it always comes back.
That dispatcher is one of the most unprofessional people I have ever heard. I've heard some unprofessional dispatchers, but like when I've heard some unprofessional dispatchers, but when, you know, she says he's O.J. Simpson, the lady doesn't say, okay, like, I'll make a note of that, or like, whatever. No, she's just like, the sportscaster? Like, bruh.
I mean, I that's not the way the way I took it was like, she was just like clarifying, like, wait, is this person? Like, just making sure she knew who it was who she was talking about.
She didn't give her any, like, she didn't say, you know, like, okay, I've got people on the way. She didn't, you know, like try to, like, you know, tell her like, yeah, the police are coming, this, that, and the other. She's just like, okay, and did you do something to upset him? Like, I hate that shit. But I mean, you hear him like screaming in the background.
Yeah, that was pretty terrifying. Like I got goosebumps listening to that.
Yeah, just the way that he was yelling. That is horrible. If a man ever talks to you like that, even in a fight, leave him.
Yeah, but like,
so
you know,
several months.
Be careful.
Yeah, obviously, be careful. Like, record everything, report everything, leave a fucking paper trail. Like, just be really careful.
Just if you are safely able to, leave his fucking ass.
Yeah. Yeah. But several months after that incident, the relationship would end again for a second and final time. According to Dr. Lenore Walker, the Simpson-Brown marriage was a textbook example of domestic abuse. Brown signed a prenup and then was prohibited from working while married. She wrote that she felt conflicted about notifying the police of the abuse because she was financially dependent on him. She described an incident in which Simpson broke her arm during a fight, but she lied and told the emergency room staff that she had fallen off her bike to protect Simpson from being arrested. She wrote about Simpson beating her in public, during sex, and even in front of family and friends. And of the 62 incidents of abuse, the police were notified 8 times, and Simpson was only ever arrested once. So, it's infuriating. It really is. So, Brown said that Simpson was stalking and harassing her after they divorced. And this behavior is an intimidation tactic meant to force the victim to return to the abuser. Brown did an incident where Simpson spied on her having sex with her new boyfriend. And afterwards, Brown said that she felt like her life was in danger because Simpson had said he would kill her if he ever found her with another man. She also drafted a will for herself.
God, when you're that scared that you do that, like, ugh.
It's so sad. I mean, she was 35 when she was killed. 35. Yeah. And like, I'm gonna show a picture of Nicole really quick, just so that we have that. There we go. There's Nicole. So that woman right there, that lady, 35 years old when she was murdered. And like, she's 35 and like writing up a will so that like if her ex-husband murders her, like at least someone will know who should take care of the children.
Oh.
Yeah. And I mean, the financial abuse too, like the financial abuse in this case is just horrible. Like forcing someone to write a prenup or to sign a prenup, but then refusing to allow them to work. What the hell? Like a prenup is basically like, if we get divorced, you can't take all my money. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. But also you're not allowed to work at all. Wait, what?
Just then what am I supposed to fucking do? Oh, you just stay with me forever.
Yeah, that's basically what is happening. Like, it's financial domination in the most non-consensual way.
Mm-hmm.
But the women's shelter Sojourn received a call from Brown 4 days prior to her murder. She was considering going there because she was afraid of what her stalker ex-husband might do because she was refusing his pleas to reconcile their marriage and had reported a missing set of keys to her house a few weeks before. You want to know where those keys were found?
I can guess.
Those keys were found on O.J. Simpson after her murder. Like, when he was arrested, the keys were on him. Yeah. So, on Brown's last evening alive, she attended Sydney's dance recital at Paul Revere Middle School with her family. Simpson also attended. The family then went to eat at Mezzaluna restaurant, and Simpson was not invited. Gee, I fucking wonder why.
Maybe because you're a fucking violent psychopath.
No, I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Maybe I'm reading too far into it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think they just didn't want him to like sneaky pay the check again. They were just like, damn it, OJ, we want to pay the check this time.
Maybe he just had like some dietary restrictions, and going to Mezzaluna just didn't align with his dietary needs.
He just couldn't do Italian. That's all.
We know you're on that gluten-free kick right now, and it's just, they don't have a gluten-free option yet. They're not that forward thinking.
No. That's why they didn't invite him. Not because, as a fucking crazy stalker who was trying to financially dominate his ex-wife and force her to be back in a relationship with him. Not at all.
No.
Yeah.
Sound like what was happening. Ow.
So Ron Goldman, who is the other victim in this case, was a waiter at Mezzaluna, though he was not assigned to Brown's table. After eating at Mezzaluna, Brown and her children went to Ben & Jerry's for a little scoop of ice cream before heading home.
Oh.
Because, let's be honest, she sounds like a bomb mom. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right? Like, fuck. Italian food and then Ben & Jerry's? Like, fuck yeah.
The bougiest of ice creams?
I don't know, man.
Ben & Jerry's is the bougie. What?
I don't know. I feel like Haagen-Dazs is probably the bougiest. Ben & Jerry's is like just the best. Just the straight up best.
I don't know. Haagen-Dazs isn't good enough to be bougie, in my opinion. Like,
see, that's why they're bougie. You know that thing that's like sometimes more expensive things are worse.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
Haagen-Dazs is bougie.
Like, I have this obsession with like looking at real estate in like areas I could never afford. And I was like looking at some of these houses in Beverly Hills last night because I was awake and bored because the DoorDash app like fucked up. So it was just like, meh, like DoorDash isn't working. And I was like, what are you talking about? I drove all the way out here. I spent my last $10 on gas. Like, what do you mean DoorDash isn't working? And it was just like, server's down. I was just like, wow, fuck you. Had to turn around and drive all the way home. So annoying.
Oh,
dude, oh my God, I was so mad. Like, oh, if I go out there tonight and it's not working again, I am going to set my phone on fire.
Sounds like a solid plan.
I'm not actually going to set my phone on fire. I'm not really going to set my phone on fire. But if you want to throw me a couple bucks for gas, my Venmo's scrolling down at the bottom of the screen at Dakota's Beard. Or you can throw Kate money for Kate stuff at Kate Ulrich 42.
Send me money so I can afford to go to the dentist.
Hey! But anyways,
oh no!
So I was like looking at these houses. Fucking Kate. Set yourself a reminder in your phone for tomorrow.
Yeah, I meant to call them today. But anyway, go ahead. Finish your story.
I was just saying, like, I was looking at some of these houses in Beverly Hills, and they're like millions of dollars. And I was just like, dude, these are hideous.
Yeah.
Any of that like modern architecture, I hate it.
Yeah, my brother
give me like a nice craftsman house any day.
My brother was looking at he was doing like the opposite. He was looking at these like giant fucking houses in like Texas and like the Midwest. And they were like these giant fucking houses like on huge properties that were like $500,000. Like
Yeah, I was gonna
5
say half a
bedrooms.
mil. Yeah, half a mil.
Yeah, like 5 bedrooms, like 12,000 bathrooms, and just like huge, like giant fucking acres of land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although I will admit, I did find a house in Beverly Hills that suits all of my criteria and is one that I could see myself living in. Guess how much money it costs?
$20 a month.
Yeah! I'm moving tomorrow. The house costs $11 million, and I was just like, why?
Oh god, capitalism is garbage.
But you guys need to subscribe to our Patreon down below.
So we can afford to live in these $1 million houses, please.
Bitch, please. We're gonna move to the Midwest. You know it.
Yeah, seriously. It's too far from Disney though, but we'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I'll make it work. Anyways, so Karen Lee Crawford, the manager of Mezzaluna, recounted that Brown's mother phoned the restaurant at about 9:37 p.m., which is really funny that she like remembered 9:37. Like, you okay, Karen? Right. But Brown's mother had left a pair of glasses at the restaurant, so Crawford found them and put them in a white envelope. And Goldman, who was friends with Nicole, offered to bring them back to Nicole. Now, he actually, after his shift, he sat down at the bar and had a bottle of water and just chatted and made plans for the rest of the night before he left the restaurant at about 9:50 p.m. to return the glasses to Nicole's house. Now, Simpson, however, since he went and had takeout food from McDonald's. So basically, he drove through a drive-through and got McDonald's, had him a good feast of chicken nuggies.
It's McNuggies.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's cooking something right now.
So he does that with this guy who's staying in place, Cato Kalin, which his real name is Brian Gerard Kalin, who is also known as Cato Kalin. And he was like one of the big witnesses in the OJ, like whole
Trial.
thing. He was staying at a guest house. He was staying in a guest house at Simpson's estate and was present at the compound on the night of the 2 murders on June 12th. Now, he witnessed some of Simpson's movements before and after the murders, and his story contradicted Simpson's version of events on the key points. And as he testified that he could not account for Simpson's whereabouts between 9:36 p.m. and 11 p.m. on the evening that the murders took place, they're sort of like, then maybe this will help our case. However, the prosecutor, however, took a really weird step of having him declared as a hostile witness, but we'll get more into that when we get into the trial in the next episode. But like, I just want to really quick, I really want to share a picture of Cato. I've met this guy, actually. I've met him a few times. But like, I just want to like just share this picture of Cato. It's one of my favorite pictures from the trial, and it's hilarious. So let me just pull this up really quick because this is just, it's like so funny.
There was a guy I went to high school with who like played baseball with my brother, and his nickname was Cato.
That's funny. This is one of the star witnesses of the entire trial, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. Cato Kalin. I have an autograph from him somewhere, and I'm still not even sure like why that happened, but I have it. No idea why that happened. None whatsoever. But since I'm sharing pictures of people, let's pull up a picture of Ron Goldman real quick, because I feel like Ron Goldman isn't really talked about enough in this whole situation. It's always like, oh my God, Nicole. Oh my God, Nicole. Yeah, it sucks. But also, Ron was murdered as well. So this is Ron Goldman. Yeah. So, anyways, let's get back to it. So, Simpson ate takeout food from McDonald's with Kate O'Kalin, a bit part actor and family friend who had been given the use of a guest house on Simpson's estate. Rumors circulated that Simpson had been on drugs at the time of the murder, and the New York Post's Cindy Adams reported that that the pair had actually gone to Burger King, where a prominent drug dealer known only as JR had admitted to selling them both crystal meth. I don't know if I believe that, but why would they lie about McDonald's of all fucking things? Like, I'm just saying, why the fuck would they lie about like McDonald's?
Maybe they just thought Burger King sounded fancier because he's a king.
No, they said that they were at McDonald's, and the writer for the Post was like, actually, it was Burger King because there's a drug dealer there. Like, there aren't drug dealers at McDonald's.
Yeah, right? Seriously.
McDonald's is basically made out of drug dealers. Are you kidding me? Like, do you know what they used to make? Do you know what they used to make McDonald's?
Drugs?
Drug dealers. Drugs? Drugs?
No, we're okay. No.
Drugs?
No, no, thank you.
Drugs?
Who invited?
Who invited you? But let's get into Ron Goldman. Because like I said, so many people really seem to forget about poor Ron Goldman. Ron Goldman was born on July 2nd, 1968. He grew up in the community of Buffalo Grove, Illinois, near Chicago. His parents divorced in 1974 when he was 6, and after spending a brief time in the custody of his mother, Sharon Foreman Rufo, he was raised by his father, Fred Goldman, and lived with him and his young. That's rude.
It was a fucking robot.
Yeet.
Please continue. Ow.
You good?
I just like punched the fucking table.
I punched myself in the face this morning. That's why I woke up. Don't know what was happening. I think I was trying to like pull a blanket, but it was like wedged like in between my bed and the wall, and I just ended up just like going like right in the face.
Done that. I've done that.
Yeah.
I think you've seen me do that.
I've also seen you like lift your hand up and then drop it on your own face. Yeah, you've just been like, and I'm just like, you good?
Did I like stay asleep or did I wake myself up?
No, you stayed asleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You good? You good, bro?
I sleep very strange. But I mean, we both do.
Anyway, so he lived with his father, Fred Goldman, and his younger sister, Kim Goldman. Goldman grew up Jewish, and he attended high school at Adlai East Stevenson High School in Lincolnshire, Illinois. He was a student at Illinois State University for one semester where he had planned to major in psychology, and he pledged the Sigma Nu fraternity before he followed his family to Southern California at the age of 18. When he was younger, Goldman had worked as a camp counselor and had volunteered to help children with cerebral palsy. While living in LA, Goldman took some classes at Pierce College. He learned to surf and enjoyed playing beach volleyball, rollerblading, and night clubbing. Upon arriving to California, he lived independently from his family and supported himself by working as an unemployment headhunter and as a tennis instructor. He then had a string of waiter jobs and would occasionally work as a model for Barry Zell, the owner of Z. Oh God, I hate this. Z949 or Z90049, which is the store next door to the California Pizza Kitchens in Brentwood Gardens, where he had worked before he worked at Mezzaluna. Now, long before his death, he had earned an emergency medical technician's license, but decided not to pursue becoming EMT. Good for him for getting the license, though. Like, shit, that's good right in itself.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's still useful, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he was young. He had plenty of time to figure out what he wanted to do, or so he thought.
Also, I don't know why. I don't know why, but like him enjoying like beach volleyball, rollerblading, and night clubbing, my first thought was like, huh, what a queer icon. Like that just sounds like stuff that like queer kids love. I don't know why.
I don't know if he was queer or not. No idea. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know what? Actually, no, I think I know why. It like the volleyball like made me think of like the homoerotic volleyball montage in Top Gun, and then like rollerblading is just like that just immediately.
Okay. You haven't seen enough 80s movies. There's more than just one homoerotic volleyball montage in 80s movies, dude. That
really?
Is like a whole. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I only know the Top Gun one.
You need to watch more 80s movies, man.
But anyway.
Anyways, instead of becoming an EMT, he told his friends that he wanted to open a bar or restaurant in the Brentwood area. He had shared his vision with his friends of opening a future bar or restaurant characterized not by a name, but by the Ankh, which is an Egyptian religious symbol that matched the tattoo that he had on his shoulder, because of course he had an Ankh on his shoulder. I'm just saying. Like, look, nothing against it. He's a murder victim and everything, but like, bruh, you had an Ankh on your shoulder. Like, bruh. However,
I mean, I'm not familiar with it. Like, for me, yeah, I just know Ankh Morpork from the Terry Pratchett novels.
Nope. But when you see it, like, Goth Girl has got this tattoo, I swear.
Ow, motherfuck.
Well, stop hurting yourself.
No, I've got a scab on my ankle, and like it's exactly on the spot where my ankle is resting on my footrest. So every time I move, it just goes like gunk.
Ew. All right, so this is the Ankh.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
Yeah, that thing.
Got it. I didn't know that's what that was called.
Yeah, it's an Ankh. But anyways, so he wanted to learn all the facets of restaurant bar business and occasionally worked as a promoter at a Century City dance club called Trips. For Memorial Day, he participated with a group of event promoters in organizing a party at Renaissance, a club and restaurant on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, which I don't know if Renaissance is still open, but I used to work near the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. I worked at Nordstrom, which was like 2 blocks away. But anyway, Ron Goldman had also expressed aspirations to act and be on a show, and he had appeared as a contestant on the short-lived game show Studs in 1992. Talk about homoerotic. Williams got some good points here. He said most manly action movies from the 80s are homoerotic. Big, sweaty, muscly guys, no shirts, big guns. Have you ever seen Rambo? Right? Like First Blood? That's super homoerotic, bro. But anyway.
You know I have not seen those.
I do, but I also know that some people have. So a lot of people, in fact, have. So anyways, so according to so he was on the short-lived game show Studs in 1992, and then he dated Jackie Bell for nearly 2 years before she broke off their relationship 3 months before his death. According to a June 15th, 1994 LA Times article published 3 days after his death, Goldman probably met Brown 6 weeks before they were killed, when he borrowed her Ferrari. They grew increasingly friendly, accompanying each other to dance clubs and meeting for coffee and dinner during the month and a half before they had died. However, according to police and friends, their relationship was platonic. According to the article, he had borrowed her car when he met his friend Craig Clark for lunch. According to Clark, he told him that it was her car, but he did not say that she was his girlfriend. He said that they were friends. And since we have cleared up all of who Ron Goldman was and what brought him up to this point, let's finally get into O.J. Simpson and where he came from.
Ooh.
You good?
Yeah. Weird sip.
Okay. All right. So Orenthal James Simpson was born and raised in San Francisco, California. Simpson is a son of Eunice Durden, a hospital administrator, and Jimmy Lee Simpson, a chef and bank custodian. That's quite a two very different occupations there, sir.
Yeah, no kidding.
But his father was also a well-known drag queen in the San Francisco Bay Area. I know.
Okay.
I know. And later in life, Jimmy Lee Simpson announced that he was gay, and then he passed away from AIDS in 1986. Honestly, I'm way more interested in hearing about Jimmy's life than OJ's, to be perfectly frank.
Also, Orenthal?
Yeah, Orenthal.
That's quite a name.
Orenthal Simpson, get down here for dinner.
It's like, how do you, like, is there like a nickname for that? Like, damn.
OJ?
I mean, aside from OJ, obviously.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm looking up pictures of OJ's dad because, like, I want to see this guy. Like, he's a drag queen. Like, I need to know. I need to know. All right. Let me see. All right. I found, yeah, this one works. Okay. So, honestly, like, I can't find any pictures of him in drag, which makes me kind of sad. But
boo.
I know, right? But that's OJ with his father. That man is a gay icon, in my opinion. Gay icon.
Well, they sure are there, aren't they?
They are indeed. They are indeed. I like that OJ's doing like the hover hand on his own dad.
Just.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so his dad came out as gay and then died from AIDS in 1986. Another victim of the AIDS epidemic, aka the government not doing anything about another outbreak.
AKA specifically, fuck you, Ronald Reagan.
And Nancy. Fuck both of them. I will never not say fuck you, Ronald Reagan. But Simpson's maternal grandparents were from Louisiana, and his aunt gave him the name Orenthal, which she said was the name of a French actor that she liked. He was called OJ from birth and did not know that Orenthal was his given name until a teacher read it in 3rd grade. Simpson had one brother. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it's kind of like how Frank Zappa's son Amit didn't, or no, it was a Dweezil. I think it was Dweezil. Frank Zappa's son Dweezil didn't know that his name wasn't actually Dweezil for the longest time. And
What
then
is his
finally, so when he was born, the hospital wouldn't actually let them give him the name Dweezil. I'm just like, well, that's just rude. So they called him Dweezil his whole life. But he was born Ian Donald Calvin Euclid Zappa.
God.
They have a daughter named Moon Unit and another daughter named Diva Muffin.
Points for originality?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, like,
Diva Muffin.
I don't think I knew that my full name was Kathleen until I was like 7.
Really? So about the same age as OJ.
Yeah, like I remember I had like an autograph book that was like from Disneyland, and like I was always called like Kate or Katie. So I remember like finding out that my name was Kathleen, and like I wanted to write like my full name in the inside of my autograph book because it said write your full name here. I was like, so I literally wrote my name as Kate Kathleen Corey Ulrich.
Kate Kathleen Corey Ulrich. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no, so Dweezil, he had no idea that his name was Dweezil, and then when he found out, he was really mad about it, and they were like, well, do you want to change it to Dweezil? And he was like, yes! So they legally let him change his name.
Just, you can't call him that at birth, but you can change it to that.
From Ian to Dweezil. You know that the courts are probably just like, this fucking kid, I mean, I guess, but like, shit, dude.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Humans are weird.
OJ had one brother, Melvin Leon Truman, living sister, Shirley Simpson Baker, and one deceased Simpson, Carmelita Simpson Durio. And as a child, Simpson developed rickets and wore braces on his legs until the age of 5, giving him his bow-legged stance. His parents separated in 1952. Wonder why?
Ew, what the fuck?
And he was raised by his mother. What?
I just had like, there was something that was like in my wine, I guess, because like I just had like something like in my mouth that was gross.
Ew.
Yeah.
But Simpson grew up in San Francisco and lived with his family in the housing projects of the Portero Hills neighborhood. In his early teenage years, he joined a street gang called the Persian Warriors and was briefly incarcerated at the San Francisco Youth Guidance Center. Future wife Marguerite, his childhood sweetheart, described Simpson as really an awful person then. Then he was an awful person. But after his third arrest with Willie Mays during which the baseball star encouraged Simpson to avoid trouble and helped persuade him to reform. At Galileo High School, currently Galileo Academy of Science and Technology in San Francisco, Simpson played for the football team the Galileo Lions, because apparently there's nothing that really just, Lions and Galileo, they go together hand in hand. When you think of Galileo, you definitely think of lions.
Yeah, right? Like, not, I don't even know. I can't even, like, think of anything that is, like, actually properly relevant except Queen.
Except what?
Queen.
Stars.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That would make sense, wouldn't it? I'm very tired and I haven't eaten a lot today.
Okay. Anyways, let's keep going. So although Simpson was an all-city football player at Galileo, his mediocre high score grades prevented him from attracting the interest of many recruiters. After a childhood friend's injury in the Vietnam War influenced Simpson to stay out of the military, he enrolled at a City College of San Francisco in 1965. He played football both ways as a running back and defensive back and was named to the junior college All-American team as a running back. Which won the Prune Bowl against Long Beach State, and many colleges sought Simpson as a transfer student for football. Simpson chose to attend the University of Southern California, USC, which he had admired as a young football fan, over the University of Utah, and played running back for the head coach John McKay in 1967 and 1968. Simpson led the nation in rushing both years under McKay. In 67 with 1,543 yards and 13 touchdowns, and in 68 with 1,880 yards on 383 carries. As a non-football person, can't translate, don't know. But anyways, as a junior in 67, Simpson was a close runner-up in the Heisman Trophy balloting to quarterback Gary Beban of UCLA. In that year's Victory Bowl rivalry game between the teams, USC was down by 6 points in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes remaining. On their own 36, USC backup quarterback Toby Page called an audible on the 3rd and 7. Simpson's 64-yard touchdown run tied the score, and the extra point provided a 21-20 lead, which was the game's final score. This was the biggest play in what is regarded as one of the greatest football games of the 20th century.
Yay.
Another dramatic touchdown in the same game is the subject of Arnold Freeberg oil painting. Is the subject of the Arnold Freeberg oil painting, O.J. Simpson Breaks for Daylight. Simpson also won the Walter Camp Award in 1967 and was a 2-time consensus All-American. Simpson was an aspiring track athlete, and in 67 he lost a 100-meter race at Stanford against the then British record holder Mackenzie Campbell. Prior to playing football at Southern Cal, he ran in the USC sprint quartet that broke the world record in a 4x110-yard relay at the NCAA track champions in Provo, Utah, on June 17th, 1967. Dude, this guy is just all sport. Like, that is just it. It is sport. He is sport man.
Like, I know like that's a thing for a lot of people, but God, sports are so boring.
Seriously, he run fast. He run fast with ball. He play keep away with ball. Football is basically capture the flag. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. Yeah, that's literally what it is. It's just,
yeah.
So many sports ball games are just a glorified game of keep away and catch.
Yeah. Or also volley hoop.
Like, soccer is yes, thank you, I got that. Like, soccer is keep away, but it's with your feet, so it's feet away.
Feet away?
Yes.
Feet away. Yeah, I don't care. And someone on my TikTok live stream earlier today was just like, do you like USC? Do you like ball? I'm like, is this OJ Simpson? I'm uncomfortable.
And like even with like fighting and stuff, I'm just like, dude, who the fuck cares? You're literally just fighting. You're fighting to win. You're not fighting like for any purpose. You're fighting because you both trained to fight. You're literally just fighting to prove who's a better fighter so you can continue fighting. And it's stupid. You're breaking your face and you're breaking your bones. And just, what is the point? Why put yourself through that?
I don't know. There's that one hot fighter though. Oh God, what's his name? The hot one.
I know who you're talking
with all
about,
the tattoos.
but I don't fucking know. I don't know fighters because I don't give a shit. I don't know fighters. I don't know sports ball players. It's just, I don't fucking care. I don't understand why people care.
You know, it's the same reason that people care about religion. They want something to like bond over.
Yeah. It's like, I don't understand what's like entertaining about it though. Like, you know, it's so boring. You know, it's just a bunch of back and forth, you know, like there's people who say that like they don't understand like people who are super into like theater or TV shows, and it's like, because it's interesting. There's a story. Stuff is happening. People are growing. Like, you don't grow as a person. Oh, that's right. It's like, you don't grow as a person because you're a good sports ball player. Like, that's not a thing.
I mean, listen, you don't know that because for a lot of these people, sports give them a life that they didn't have before, you know? I mean, you look at some of these athletes and stuff, and like you look at their homes and like the things that they've been able to accomplish and stuff. Like, I mean, I'm going to go ahead on the defense right now of sports players at the moment, because like a lot of these kids come from these really shitty like situations of these really shitty homes and really horrible home lives, and they become a great athlete and they're able to change their entire life and be able to support themselves and their families. I mean, you always see these athletes who, like, you know, they're like, oh, I bought my mom a home. It's because their mom never could afford a home. Like, this is the first time that their moms ever lived in a house. Like, you know, like they lived in like apartments their whole lives, you know. Like, I'm going to go ahead and on the defense right now. And, you know, I agree. Sports is not my thing, but I think that you're not looking at the bigger picture here. You're saying sports doesn't make you a better person. Sports gives people opportunities that they never would have had before.
But like, it's not the sports themselves that do that. It's the organizations that have all this fucking money.
Yeah, and it's the fact that like they're paying these people to be good athletes, and they are being good athletes. That's what's giving them an opportunity to be a better person.
But there's like plenty of athletes who are assholes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't give a shit about sports, but like without sports, you wouldn't have your what's that movie that you're so into? Space Jam.
I mean, I guess, but I don't love Space Jam for the sports ball. I love Space Jam for the Looney Tunes.
Sure, but without the sports ball, there would be no Space Jam. I'm just saying. Look, I understand what you're saying, but I also think that you're being unfairly harsh on these athletes who, listen, what I do destroys my body, but what they do destroys their body in a way that I can't even like fathom. They are like just completely destroying their own bodies for the entertainment purposes. In a way, athletes are as much a sideshow performer as I am.
So why don't you get paid the same as an athlete?
Good fucking question.
That's where I have the issue. That's where I take issue is like you have these different mediums. You know, you have sports ball and you have like performances, like performers, and like there's such a vast difference in it's just it's a whole thing. Like I could go on about this like for hours, so we should probably move on, or we'll be here just talking about this like for the rest of the night. I've got all this energy. It's hard to, like, to quote with Richard Iwadi, it is very hard to come down from this energy.
So as a senior in college in 1968, Simpson rushed for 1,709 yards and 22 touchdowns in the regular seasons, earning him the Heisman Trophy, the Maxwell Award, and the Walter Camp Award. He held the records for the Heisman's largest margin of victory for 51 years, defeating runner-up Leroy Keys by 1,750 points. In the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day, number 2 USC faced top-ranked Ohio State. Simpson ran for 171 yards, including an 80-yard touchdown run and a 27-16 loss. But that brings us up to date on who Simpson was, his background, and let's just I just want to bring up a picture of, you know what, I need to find a better picture of Simpson because I picked one from the trial, but I need to find a better picture of OJ real quick. I just see how fucking big this dude. I mean, he's not he's 6'1", so we've talked about taller people, but
big guy.
Big dude. Yeah, he's a large man. Oh God, I found a picture of him with Donald Trump. Wait, oh God. Okay, that's not who I thought it was. Right? Seriously, but let me find a good picture of OJ Simpson. All right, football.
Ow.
You good?
Yeah, I just shook something in my
What'd you do?
wrist crack.
Oh, that's not good.
I almost said my ankle because my ankle is the one that cracks all the time.
You good?
I'm fine.
All right, I'm gonna share a picture of OJ and Nicole right now. So I feel like this one is a important one to share right now. Like this is, yeah. So he's bigger than her.
Yeah, significantly.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that she's probably wearing heels in that picture too. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Most likely.
Yeah. So he's not a small man. And like football players, they're beefy dudes. Like that's the thing. They're beefy dudes. So yeah, anyways, let's bring it on back to the night of the murder. So at 12:10 a.m. on June 13th, 1994, Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman's bodies were found outside of Nicole's Bundy Drive condominium in Brentwood, Los Angeles. Both victims had been dead for about 2 hours prior to the arrival of the police. The defense and the prosecution murders took place sometime between 10:15 and 11 p.m. Nicole's Akita dog with blood-stained paws led neighbors to the body. Literally, that happens. Like the dog was like on the sidewalk and the neighbors were like, "Oh, dog, what are you doing here? Also, why is there blood on you?" And the dog's like, "Follow me. Look, my mom's dead." And they were just like, "Ah, your mom's dead. Holy shit."
Yeesh. Yeah. Big yikes.
Big ol' yikey there. But Stephen Schwab testified that while he was taking his dog on a walk in the area near Brown's house at 11:30, he noticed that Brown's Akita dog had bloody paw prints but was uninjured. He said that he took the dog to a neighbor friend who took the dog for a walk at approximately 12 midnight and testified that it tugged on its leash and led him to Brown's house. There he discovered Brown's dead body and flagged down a passing patrol car. I flagged down a passing patrol car one time and they were like, "You have to call in your problem." And I was just like, "I did. You're here. Deal with it and do your goddamn job." That was when I worked in Hollywood. I told you about that because there was that guy who he got maced at the McDonald's next door to where I worked, and he was laying out front of our lobby, and I was just this doesn't seem right. And people were gathering in front of our store and stuff, and I was just okay, but I know you, and I know that you're probably doing some shady shit. So what'd you get maced for? But I called 911, and then 25 minutes later, the cops still hadn't come. So I walked outside and I saw a patrol car, and I was just hey, I called you guys. Can you come fucking deal with this? And they were just someone's on their way already. And I was well, you're here. So you want to do your jobs, or do you want me to call in and file a report that you're not doing your jobs? And they were fine. I hate how much you have to actually make. Yeah, seriously. I hate when you actually have a problem and they're I'm right here, but I'm not going to help you. Fucking douchebags. LAPD sucks. Anyway. So Brown was found face down and barefoot at the bottom of the stairs leading to her front door, which was left open. There were no signs of forced entry nor any evidence that anyone had entered the premises. The scene had a large amount of blood, but the bottoms of Brown's feet were clean, leading investigators to conclude that she was murdered first and that she was the intended target. She had been stabbed multiple times to the head and neck, but had a few defense wounds on her hands, which implied a short struggle to investigators. The final cut was deep into her neck, severing her carotid artery. Brown did have a large bruise on the center of her upper back, so investigators concluded that after the assailant had killed Goldman, he returned to Brown's body, put his foot on her back, causing the bruise, and pulled her head back by her hair and slit her throat. In fact, this cut was so bad that the larynx could be seen through the gaping wound in her neck, and vertebra C3 was incised. Her head was barely attached to the body. This took a lot of strength to do something like that. That is not an easy thing to do. It really isn't. I mean, you think about Edmund Kemper.
That's a
Remember
lot
when
of
Edmund
force
Kemper
and a sharp fucking knife.
Yeah. Remember when Edmund Kemper cut his mom's neck out, and then he took her vocal cords and put it in the garbage disposal, but they wouldn't break?
Vaguely.
So Edmund Kemper, after he cut up his mom, he was putting pieces down the garbage disposal, and her fucking vocal cords would not break down in the garbage disposal.
Not even a garbage disposal could shut that bitch up.
That was basically Edmund Kemper's thoughts on the whole situation, because fuck that lady, but also fuck Edmund Kemper, but also fuck that lady.
Ugh.
Ed Kemper is one of those ones that if he had just killed his mom, we would have been a lot more understanding, but he killed a bunch of people, so it's just sort of
You didn't have to do it that way, buddy. You didn't.
No. We believed in you, and then you killed. You good?
Yeah, I took that sip just a little too hard, so it was just shoom.
You were just so much wine. You're no, not that much wine. No, that's too much wine.
Too much of a good thing.
I don't know why, but it just made me think of that thing that I sent you the other day. I am writing this journal entry by the light of a candle.
Oh my god. Oh, that was the funniest fucking thing. You sent me that while I was at work. So I was just dying in the break room, and one of my coworkers heard me just cackling. They were like, "Are you okay?"
Dear diary, I'm on a plane. It's quite flapping. All right, let's get through. We've only got a little bit more to go. All right.
Okay.
So Ron Goldman lay nearby, close to a tree and the fence. He had been stabbed multiple times in the body and neck, but like Brown, had relatively few defensive wounds, which also signified a short struggle to investigators. Forensic evidence from the LA County coroner alleged that Goldman had been attacked and stabbed repeatedly in the neck and chest with one hand, while the assailant restrained him in an arm chokehold. Near Goldman were the assailant's blue knit cap and left hand glove, an extra large Eris isotoner light leather glove, and an envelope containing the glasses that he was returning. Bloody shoe prints leaving the scene were brought through the back gate were left by the assailant. To the left of some footprints were drops of blood from the assailant, who was apparently left hand. Measuring the distance between the steps showed the assailant walked away rather than ran. Bruh, he just like stabbed them to death and then he was gonna walk away.
Just strolled
Didn't
the fuck
even
out
run.
of there.
The fucking balls.
Hey, he's
So
had 62 incidents of, various levels of escalated, like escalation with abuse, and only 1 out of 8 times that the police had been called was he actually arrested. He knew fucking nothing was gonna get done. Like, that gave him the audacity and the balls.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So Simpson was scheduled for a red-eye flight at 11:45 p.m. to Chicago to play golf the following day at a convention with the representatives of Hertz Rental Car Corporation, for whom he was a spokesperson. Limousine driver Alan Park was scheduled to pick him up and take him to Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, and he arrived early at around 10:25 p.m. He drove around Simpson's estate to make sure he could navigate the area with the stretch limousine properly and testified that he did not see Simpson's Ford Bronco parked outside. Park testified that he had been looking for and had seen the house number on the curb, and the prosecution presented exhibits to show that the position in which the Bronco was found the next morning was right next to the house number, implying that Park surely would have noticed the Bronco if it had been there at the time. The limo driver parked outside the Ashford Street gate and then drove back to the Rockingham gate to check which driveway would have been best access for the limo. Deciding that the Rockingham entrance was too tight, he returned to the Ashford gate and began to buzz the intercom at 10:40, getting no response. He noted that the house was dark and nobody appeared to be home, as he smoked a cigarette and made several calls to his boss to get Simpson's home phone number. He then testified that he saw a shadowy figure resembling Simpson emerge from the area where the Bronco was later found to be parked and approached the front entrance before aborting and heading towards the southern walkway. The same person then appeared shortly afterwards from the southern walkway and entered the house through the front door, and the lights came on. At the time, Park witnessed this shadowy figure head towards the south walkway where the bloody glove would later be found. Cato Kalin had previously been on the telephone with his friend Rachel Ferreira. At approximately 10:50, something crashed into his wall, which he described as 3 thumps, and he feared was an earthquake. Kalin hung up the phone and ventured outside to investigate the noises, but did not decide to venture directly down the dark south pathway from which the thumps had originated, because, it's spooky outside. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
You hear
right?
these
Like,
loud thumps, like, it's spooky. Don't do that.
yeah, like, what are they trying to do? Be the first 5 minutes of an episode of Supernatural?
Right? But instead, he walked down to the front of the property where he saw Park's limo outside the Ashford gate. Kalin let Park into the Ashford gate, and Simpson finally came out the front door a few minutes later, claiming that he had overslept. Both Park and Kalin would later testify that Simpson appeared agitated that night. Park also noted that on his way to the airport, Simpson complained about how hot it was, and he was sweating and rolled down the window despite it not being a warm night. Park also testified that he loaded 4 luggage bags into the car that night, with one of them being a knapsack that Simpson would not touch, insisting that he load it himself. James Williams, sky cap at the LAX, testified that Simpson only checked 3 bags at LAX that night, and the police determined that the missing luggage was the same knapsack that Park had mentioned earlier. Another witness was not used at trial. Skip Junis claimed he saw Simpson at the airport discarding items from a bag into a trash can. Detectives Lang and Vanater believe that this is how the murder weapon, shoes, and clothes that Simpson wore during the murder were disposed. Simpson was running late, but he managed to catch his flight. A passenger on the plane and the pilot testified to not noticing any cuts or wounds on Simpson's hands. A broken glass and bed sheets with blood on them were recovered from Simpson's hotel room at O'Hare Plaza Hotel, and Peter Phillips, the former manager of the hotel, recalled Simpson asking for a Band-Aid for his finger at the front desk. Soon after discovering the female victim was Nicole Simpson, LAPD Commander Keith Boucher ordered Detectives Lang, Vanater, Phillips, and Furman to notify Simpson of her death and to give him a ride to pick up his children, who had been at Nicole's condo at the time of the murders and were currently at the police station. They buzzed the intercom at the property for over 30 minutes, but received no response. The fuck was Kate O'Kalin doing?
Ugh, what in the fuck? Seriously.
Fucking Kato.
Ow.
So they noted that the Bronco was parked on Rockingham at an awkward angle with its back end out more than the front, and that there was blood on the door, which they feared meant someone inside might be hurt. Detective Vanater then instructed Furman to scale the wall and unlock the gate to allow the other 3 detectives to enter. The detectives would argue that they entered without a search warrant because of the circumstances, specifically out of fear that someone inside might be injured. Furman briefly interviewed Kate O'Kalin, who told him that the Bronco belonged to O.J. Simpson and that earlier in the night he had heard thumps on his wall. In a walk around the premises to inspect what might have caused the thumps, Furman discovered a bloody glove. It was later determined to be matching right-hand glove of the one found at the murder scene. The evidence was determined to be probable cause to issue an arrest warrant for O.J. Simpson. Detective Ron Phillips testified that when he called Simpson in Chicago to tell him of his ex-wife's murder, he sounded very upset, but was oddly unconcerned about the circumstances of her death. Phillips noted that Simpson only asked if the children had seen the murder or Brown's body, but was not concerned with the assailants having harmed his children either. Maybe because he already knew that his children were fine?
Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah, just saying. The police contacted Simpson at his home on Monday, June 13th, and took him to Parker Center for questioning. Detective Lang noticed that Simpson had a cut on his finger of his left hand that was consistent with where the killer was bleeding from and asked Simpson how he got it. At first, he claimed he cut his finger accidentally while in Chicago after learning of Nicole's death. Lang then informed Simpson that blood was found inside of his Bronco, at which point Simpson admitted that he did cut his finger the same murders, but he did not remember how. He voluntarily gave up some of his own blood for comparison with evidence collected at the crime scene and was released. Simpson hired Robert Shapiro on Tuesday, June 14th, and began assembling the Dream Team, but it was noted that an increasingly distraught Simpson had begun treatment for depression. On Wednesday, June 15th, preliminary results from DNA testing came back with matches to Simpson, but the district attorney delayed filing charges until all the results came back. On Thursday, June 16th, Simpson spent Thursday night at the San Fernando Valley home of friend Robert Kardashian. Yes, that Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's father was a lawyer, and he worked on this case.
Oh, boy.
And, I mean, not only that, he was played by David Schwimmer in that The People vs. O.J. Simpson show.
That's who David Schwimmer was playing?
I'm pretty sure it was Robert Kardashian. Yeah, hang on, let me check.
Wow. That's just a wild fucking thought. Just David Schwimmer as Mr. Kardashian.
I'm fairly certain. Yeah, he was Robert Kardashian.
That's bizarre. Like,
I know, right?
I don't know anything about Robert Kardashian. Like, I have no frame of reference for what he looks like. So I don't know how good that casting is in any way, shape, or form, but I'm just imagining like Kim Kardashian like as a guy. And I'm mistaken.
I was wrong.
It's like I had a feeling like it wasn't actually like it wasn't like a carbon copy like Kim Kardashian looks like yeah, like but there's not even like a resemblance there. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't see it now.
But I mean their faces are completely fake.
Yeah. I was just about to say, keep in mind, I had work done.
Yeah, just there's nothing about her that's even remotely natural. Like, of course she's not going to look like her dad. She doesn't even look like herself.
That's not entirely true. I've seen pictures of young Kim Kardashian and a little bit older Kim Kardashian. There's still things that are totally natural.
Yeah, Kylie's the one who has nothing that's the same anymore. Like, even a little bit.
I don't know, dude. I mean, listen, like, look into it before you start making claims. All right?
No, like, Kylie, I'm fully confident. Kylie, I'm fully confident. She doesn't look like herself anymore.
Anyways, we're almost.
Like, I've seen what she looked like.
So 5. Anyways, so he spent the night at Kardashian's home, and Shapiro asked several doctors to attend Simpson's reported fragile mental state. On Friday, June 17th, detectives recommended that Simpson be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstance of multiple killings after the final DNA results came back. The LA notified Shapiro at 8:30. The LAPD notified Shapiro at 8:30 a.m. on Friday that Simpson would have to surrender that day. At 9:30 a.m., Shapiro went to Kardashian's home to tell Simpson that he would have to by 11 a.m., an hour after the murder charges were filed. Simpson told Shapiro that he wanted to surrender himself, to which the police agreed, believing someone as famous as Simpson would not attempt to flee. No. The police even agreed to delay his surrender until 12 p.m. so that Simpson could be seen by a mental health specialist after showing signs of suicidal depression. He updated his will, called his mother and children, and wrote 3 sealed letters, one to his children, another to his mother, and one to the public. More than 1,000 reporters waited for Simpson's perp walk at the police station, but he did not arrive as stipulated. The LAPD then notified Shapiro that Simpson would be arrested at Kardashian's home. Kardashian and Shapiro told him this, but when police arrived an hour later, Simpson was gone along with Al Crowlings. The 3 sealed letters he had written were left behind. At 1:50 p.m., Commander Dave Gascon, not Gaston, Gascon, the LAPD's chief spokesman, publicly declared that Simpson was a fugitive, and the police issued an APB, an all-points bulletin, for him and arrest warrants for Crowlings. And that is where we are going to leave off on tonight's show. O.J. Simpson, part 1. When we get into part 2, we are going to talk about the high-speed chase. Well, yeah, the high-speed chase.
The low-speed chase. It was a low-speed chase.
We're going to talk about the chase.
The pursuit, if you will.
The pursuit, yeah. The pursuit. The Bronco pursuit. Fucking ridiculous. That whole situation is so stupid. Like, yep. Honestly, so fucking stupid. So Kate, what are you feeling so far?
I know like what's coming up next. Like I have a general idea, and I'm just like, I'm already angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just this.
I get that.
I can't even, I don't really know a whole lot about the trial. All I know is if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Oh, you're gonna be infuriated about the trial, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because, like, given what we know from all of this, it's just like, yeah, he fucking did it. What more do you need? How could this have possibly gone the way that it did?
Okay, hang on a second. I need to like, I don't know if you're so I don't I feel like I need to like share this fast because, you know, this is just something that like is wild to me, and honestly, I want to see your reaction to it on camera. So, hang on one second. This is literally a whoop, hello? Shit.
It's literally a
My
what?
computer is like, yeah, hang on a second. My computer's freezing.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me, but Chrome is like frozen right now. God.
Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you, so you're fine on my end.
You can see me. Okay, cool. I'm glad that you can see me. My whole computer screen is just like white right now, so
Oh god.
I don't really know what's going on here. If Chrome could just like figure its shit out, that would be really cool. Thanks.
I am tangled.
Yeah, that'd be.
I got it.
That would be nice. Hello, Chrome. Hello. Any day now. God, Google. Why are you the way you are? I don't know how to end the show. Like if I can't even, I don't know if it'll just end automatically or what. Like I don't know.
I mean, like, do you have like an exit bar or anything?
I mean, technically I have the close button, but I don't want to just like close out the show, you know?
I mean, like you could do that. Like,
I mean, if I don't end the broadcast, but if I don't end the broadcast, I don't know that StreamYard will. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I feel like it would. I can't imagine why it wouldn't.
I've accidentally left the stream before. I've left the studio without exiting out the broadcast or without ending the broadcast, and it's the broadcast has kept going. So yeah. Hang on a second. I don't fucking know, man. Fucking ridiculous. I mean, luckily I have my phone up in the corner over there, so I guess, you know, if anything, I can just see what's happening. So, all right, I will show you what I want to show you on Thursday then. This has been a really weird way to end the show. It's not normally this fucking annoying.
This has just been a night of technical difficulties, hasn't it?
No kidding. Till then, if you enjoyed the show, feel free to throw us a little bit of money down at the bottom. My Venmo is at Dakota's Beard. Kate's is at Kate Ulrich 42, or you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Dakota's Beard. Feel free to check that out. And until Thursday, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, and I hope this works. If not, I fucking no, man. We're all gonna find out together. Good night, guys. Yep. Yeah, close the program, idiot. God.
Oh no. I think it's still up. Oh no. Hang on, I need to see if this is still going on Facebook real quick. And if it is, then I may just have to leave the studio. Oh no, it's stuck. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, it was